Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Most Excellent Entertainment. My guest this week is an extremely creative individual. He's a drummer out of the Chicago area and the mind behind Brain Tenna. Please welcome Kyle Biba. Kyle, thank
Hello.
you so much for coming
Thank
on the
you.
show this week.
Thank you, Keith. I know we've had some tr struggles trying to get together in the past, but
Yeah,
we finally made it. So, you know,
yeah,
better late than never.
absolutely, man, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, so. You are more than just a drummer, I would say. You've actually put together a really interesting project with Brain Tenna.
hmm
Um, but I want to kind of back up a little bit and talk about your relationship with drums and with music, and where did that start, and when did you know you wanted to be a drummer? When did you pick up the sticks for the first time? All that good stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. It goes as far back as I can remember. And even probably even at this time I didn't really remember because I was too young, but my mom had told me, when I was in a little baby, even like in the jumper, she would put me in front of the TV, in front of MTV, and I would just watch and listen to music all day and just bounce around and just, get all into it. And that was probably the start of it. Music's been in my family for generations. Her my mom's dad was a drummer, and his parents were musicians as well, and they always played around in the small town that we they grew up in. So music's definitely in the family. And then my uncle, who's my mother's brother, played drums as well. So during Christmas time and holidays, he'd be playing his drums or come over and play mine, and I would get so inspired just watching him play. And it really kicked off, yeah, probably watching my uncle play the most. And then I'd say I was around like 12 when I took my first drum lesson with him. And I knew, it was pretty hard doing it at first, just the basic drum beats, but I knew I was like, I'm going to just keep doing this, even though it's an insanely hard coordination and getting your limbs and everything lined up. I just
Yeah,
kept pursuing it. And then, yeah, eventually got into some drum lessons when I was about 16 and played my first show when I was, or ex, not really show, but like high school assembly or talent show.
yeah,
And first time on stage, and that's really what kicked it off with the adrenaline pumping. You're on stage, and even though it's your fellow peers in the audience, people cheering when you're done, and it's like that adrenaline is just so addicting once you get it down. And yeah, from there it's just been nonstop. But yeah, it goes as far back as to probably when I was a baby, just pretty much being just fed music,
yeah.
brainwashed by MTV, but
Right
in a
on,
good
man.
way, not in
Yeah,
a bad way.
right on, man. Hey,
But yeah, it's been a fun journey so far.
awesome. So, once you got out there and you played that talent show and you got that taste, um, did you try to find a band to hook up with, or did you like what was the process after that?
Yeah, it was I remember in high school, me and my buddy, we were good friends. He actually played bass for his brother actually played guitar, and I think that's kind of what got him into playing instruments, seeing his older brother play guitar. So he played bass. And then we actually kind of did our own little jam. His older brother was better than me and him
Mhm.
on instruments. And we are like, oh, let's just kind of form a band. And luckily, we found a singer in high school and another guitar player. And we just put a little project together called, how was it? I actually forgot because I was probably like
Uh,
15, 16.
sure.
Um, I'm sure I can find it somewhere. But yeah, we put a little band together and like, let's just do the talent show.
Yeah.
And yeah, luckily finding other musicians in the school helps because I was actually in band like orchestra and choir
Okay.
and all that. I never
Yeah.
sang, so I just went to orchestra and just did percussion. But I was actually really bad at that with like just hitting the snares or just the
Yeah.
bass drum. I was usually the guy like eighth chair playing the triangle, and I'd even miss those parts because I wouldn't really follow the music, and I just wanted to do my own thing. So I was
Yeah.
like, I quit that and just wanted to do the drum set, not percussion itself. So yeah, from there, luckily finding actual like other rock musicians or metalheads,
Sure.
just kind of formed a little band, and then we actually played. the town has a festival every summer, and we played there.
Oh,
And at that
nice.
time, the band, I guess, was kind of falling apart. The singer started swearing on stage in front of kids, and I'm like, I need to find more professional musicians
Yeah.
here rather than, these guys that I just want to do it for fun. Like at that time, I really wanted to go serious, even though I
Nice.
was 16, 17. So I think at that time I realized like I need to surround myself with more professional people, better, more than just high schoolers. So
Yeah.
I actually expanded from there to go outside of the small town and actually go into the city of Chicago, where I joined my first official band when I was 19. And
Yeah.
that's always a fun story because these guys were like 24, 25, so they had their IDs, they were playing bars, they're getting drunk all night and all that. And at that time
Right.
I was used to, partying out of high school and all that, so I can hang with them, but I didn't have an ID to
Right.
play the bars. So luckily my brother at that time was 21, so I kind of looked like him and
Hmm.
was able to sneak in the bars and here's my ID and try to grow the peach fuzz on my chin to look
Yeah.
like I was a little bit older. And it worked for most of the time, maybe like once or twice. So like, you're not 21. You got to wait outside until it's time for you to play, and then you can come in, and then you got to go back outside again. So I'm like, all right. But
Oh man.
I got to experience that for a couple of years in Chicago, and that was fun. We did try the whole touring thing, kind of got burnt out of playing local shows every weekend, and then tried to do a 3 week tour, and half the tour didn't work out because we didn't
Mhm.
know what we were doing,
Yeah.
and almost got stranded in Arizona because our transmission blew on the van. And it's like the typical touring stories. And
Right.
you're just roughing it, eating spam out of a can, literally, in the
Man.
mountains of like California. Like it's
Yeah.
like so it's like, it's been a whole experience, but yeah, from all of that, I definitely learned that I still wanted to do it after a lot of these struggles,
Sure.
but just trying to find a better way to do it. And, a lot of those guys aren't actually even doing music anymore because
Oh,
either they
wow.
just lost their passion, and I'm
I,
like,
I missed
got to stay
this
more,
is important.
keep it more sustainable.
Yeah, for sure.
I missed Vincent, Atticus, and Brantley get into a fight today.
Oh, geez. Sorry, my son just found
It's
out
all
some
good.
information. He was homesick today, and apparently there was a fight at school.
Oh
A
man, you don't
three
want to
a
miss those.
three-way fight.
Oh, gee, you can't miss
It's
those. That
Brantley
sucks.
and Atticus.
Okay, a four-way fight.
Oh, there you go.
Golly
It's like a
jeepers. All right.
WWE tag
Yeah,
team.
man. um, so yeah, so what was that like though? I mean, obviously there was it was a hard road, but as a 19-year-old, from sort of a smaller town, going
Mhm.
into Chicago and then going out across the country. I mean, that must have been like an awakening of sorts, you know?
Yeah, it was always that's kind of the ignorance or falsehood you see with all that. It's like, oh yeah, you're going on tour, that means you made it. Or that, oh yeah, things are gonna be great. You're gonna have chicks everywhere and you're gonna be taken care of. And it's the exact opposite. I
Yeah.
mean, you're sitting in the vehicle 10 hours driving to the next show, missing your family. And at that time I was single, but you still miss your friends because they're still out partying, having fun at 19, 20. They're like, where are you at? I'm like, I'm literally in the middle of nowhere in Nebraska playing a show to two people. Where are you guys at? Oh, a barn party with 100 people and having a blast. And
Yeah.
it's like, damn, dude, I want to be back home. But
Right.
it's one of those things where I was actually still doing school at that time. I was in community college for fire science and safety to be a firefighter. And
Oh, cool.
I took a break from that just to do the tour thing. So I'm like, I don't want to lose the opportunity of doing it and then regretting it.
Yeah.
So took a break from school just to do that and, realize like, I'm glad I did it just to learn kind of the hard way of like what
Yeah.
touring really is and not just this, mindset I had that I thought it was.
Right.
You used to watching like VH1 and all those rock stars that made it. And, it's like, yeah, I want
Yeah.
to be that. And you're like, that's not the reality at all.
Yeah. You're
So
not going out on the road and being Aerosmith right off the bat.
exactly. You're going down the road being nobody and still being a nobody on the way back.
Yeah.
So it's it was a hard lesson to learn, but I'm glad I did it. No regrets at all because everything's a lesson, not a failure.
Right.
And it was hard, but now it's like I've always because I've always heard, the balance of being on the road and having a family, and I've always wanted to have a family, and I'm so
Sure.
grateful I have a family now, and that I've figured out how to kind of balance both, still have my music career and have a family, which is also a great thing because now, my daughter is seeing me do still music, and I'm just proving that if you got a dream and a passion, don't let anything stop it. Slow down if you need to, but balance your life out so you're not doing one or the other and regretting not having one or the other.
Yeah,
So it's
absolutely.
it's really a balance of everything. But yeah, then after that, yeah, going out doing the Chicago thing, it was good. Then I actually figured kind of wanted to learn more about drumming itself just to be
Sure.
able to record better. Because that was another thing when I was 19. Like I had no recording experience in the studio. It was always just jamming with my friends and never played to a metronome.
Right.
And with this band, they were more of like a Pantera style. So you
Okay.
really, as the drummer, you really got to be locked in because at
Grooves.
that point,
Right.
everyone's like, just follow the guitar player, which is not what you do. You got to follow the
Right.
drummer.
Right.
I'm the backbone, the timing person, and I definitely blew it in the first recording with them because I didn't know how to play to a click, but it made me realize if you really want to be an all-around good drummer, not just live, you
Yeah.
definitely need to, get your stuff together. And so I went to Musicians Institute out in California for a
Okay.
semester just to
Okay.
learn about drumming and, dive into it really hard because at that time I was still taking lessons from the teacher I had when I was 16, just
Okay.
periodically. She's like,
Yeah.
yeah, before you get out there, get the click down, get your rudiments in and just learn what you learn out there. And I'm so glad I did because a lot of those teachers came from Berkeley.
Oh
And
wow.
that's like, one of the best renowned music schools in the country
Yeah.
or world. A lot of them transferred over there. So I was getting essentially a Berkeley education with half the cost.
Nice.
But it was still 7 grand a semester. So I ended up having to sell my car just to get out there because I knew it was something I wanted to do.
Right.
And I literally went out there with like couple $1,000 in my pocket, came back broke for, the last 3 months, but it was a whole
Yeah.
experience. And luckily I still had a job when I came home. And I was like, learned from that experience. And then I realized still doing some local bands that there was something wrong there because everyone was still in the mindset of let's just play local shows and try to get our
Mm.
friends and family out instead of actually building a band like a business where you actually have
Yeah.
like true fans around the country and
Right.
not just your local little circle. Because eventually everybody gets burned out. Nobody wants
Oh
to
yeah.
hear you play the same songs and same show every time. And if
Yeah.
you're not growing your fan base, you're just kind of spinning your wheels. And so from there, I started realizing like we got to run this like a business. And I saw in 2017 a Facebook ad pretty much saying that like as a band, you need to run your band like a business. Have you ever tried Facebook ads and Instagram ads to just get your music out there? And I
Right.
started doing my research and realized this is the right way to do it. And since 2017 on, even to this day, I mean, that's probably how you saw
Yeah.
the Traveler CD. I mean, it's
Yep.
without social media ads, I would still be probably sitting in my basement wondering, how am I going to make this work? I've tried half my life of trying to be a musician and I'm still not where I want to be. And now I
Yeah.
feel like I'm on that road to get there to where I can actually start playing shows again with real fans showing up and
Right.
knowing
Sure.
music, knowing the lyrics, and just being a part of that community, which is pretty much where we're at now.
Yeah. And I mean, well, I want to touch on the internet uh
Yeah,
growth, but I also want to back up just a little bit
sure.
and talk about recording.
Yeah,
So was Casticide, was that the band that
that was it.
okay,
Yep.
so what was it like going into the studio with that without much experience that first time and really trying to learn it on the job?
Yeah, it was funny because they warned me at least like a few weeks before, like, oh yeah, can you play to a click? I'm like, oh yeah, I got it down. And I tried it a few times before that. And I'm like, oh man, this is really hard.
Yeah.
And so I go in there, I did the best I could, and unfortunately, it took the engineer more time to edit my drums to get it dialed in so that he can start recording guitar, bass, and vocals on that, like over my drums. Because you do the drums to the click, and that's
Right.
synced up, and then everybody's recording on top of that because I'm the timing.
Right.
So it took more time for him to do his job to clean up my mistakes. Probably cost us a little bit more money because I wasn't prepared and for him to do that. So that was definitely the major lesson. But it was cool because we recorded in it was somewhere in Wisconsin, I think in Kenosha. And this
Sure.
gentleman's name, his name is Chris. I forgot his last name. But he was a pretty well-known recording engineer. I
Okay.
think he recorded with Nile and some other like pretty big metal bands. And he did some, I think some tech work on the road, I think during Ozfest years. So
Oh,
I remember
nice.
some of those stories. So like he was around.
Yeah.
But it was cool to just go into like a real studio and just be like, wow, like I'm not just in someone's basement recording
Right.
from, a crappy little cassette tape because that's what I used to record on. I didn't even know about Pro Tools, even though it was probably available at that time. I was so ignorant about the technology. I just wanted to play drums and didn't really care about anything else. But then started learning about, oh, this is what recording's like. This is the gear. This is how to do it properly. And I actually started doing that eventually on my own so I can start doing my own drum videos
Okay. Yeah.
and all that, which that did kind of lead into going to Musicians Institute because I was doing, I think it was like 2011, I started doing my YouTube channel for
Right.
drumming, and I
Right.
really wanted to do get the best videos and just kind of promote myself as like a session drummer. And
Mhm.
obviously, I had to have decent audio and decent footage to kind of promote myself. So because of that recording process with Cast Aside, it merged into me eventually doing YouTube videos. But yeah, it was a really cool experience the first time being in a quote unquote real studio. It
Yeah.
was great. I actually remember they yelled at me because I was done recording and I was kind of
Mhm.
bored. So I'm like, what am I doing? I was in the other room just tapping away on my drumsticks and they're trying to record the guitar
And they can hear it.
and they're like, can you stop doing that? Just go
Yeah.
outside or something. I'm like, oh, just dumb 19, 20-year-old just like just in the way essentially. It's like,
No,
all
that's
right, what am I doing here?
funny.
But all lessons learned. It was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. And just to talk a little bit about the Chicago scene,
Yeah,
there's been, I mean, Chicago has an amazing history of music, industrial, power pop,
right.
you know, rock and roll, heavy metal. Like there's a lot of great bands that have come out of Chicago. Um, and what is the scene like? Does it feel like does the scene feel superior? Like what's it like trying to get into that scene and all that? Like,
Yeah, I mean, to be truthful, I haven't been in the Chicago scene in a long time.
okay,
Since I'm not playing shows, I'm still in touch with some people, but I'm mainly even around my local area now outside of Chicago. There's always been a great scene, even in the suburbs.
yeah,
A
sure,
lot of people still go into the city, and they'll play bands in there, but it's a good mix of city and suburb metal community. It's really good. But yeah, it's just I think everybody loves each other. It's such a great community online too, and we all respect each other and just want to play shows and just a lot of people are helping each other out, and it's good seeing a lot of the newer bands still, even guys my age, still wanting to do it, even though they have families. There's a few venues out here where they're still doing their weekend shows and build. I'm excited to see, guys in my, we're older now, but we're still doing it and everybody
yeah,
loves it. And even the younger guys are still crushing it too. So it's still strong, which is great. Cause yeah, there is a strong cover band community as well. So
sure,
it's
sure,
not only just the originals, it's the cover bands too. So
yeah,
it's, you can do both. And a lot of guys who are in original bands do cover bands either on the weekends to make money,
right,
because they actually will earn, a living as a musician doing cover bands
yeah,
over original music,
yeah,
unless you're really popular. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. So it's a thriving scene around here for sure.
right on. Yeah, I mean, because if you think about it, going all the way back to like the '60s and '70s, there isn't a decade where Chicago wasn't putting out like
True.
some
Something, yeah.
something that was popular. Like
Right.
there's always been good national musicians coming out of the scene.
Definitely. And from being pretty much out in the boonies compared to the Chicago cast aside guys who grew
Yeah,
up in the city, we live different lives. They've told me stories of pretty much not going to high school because it's just so bad and just, fights and
right, sure,
horrendous shit to where you just want to stay home safety reasons and then you just get into music to keep yourself occupied And it's like that kind of energy and situations where some people have to grow up in, I think, mold you into that kind of musician where it's, just kind of nitty gritty, like, don't fuck with me type shit unless you're cool and everything's good. But,
Yeah.
coming from the country, we're a little more loose and like, it's everything's cool, but we get down to if we need to. But
Right. Right.
it's kind of yeah, it's kind of getting best of both worlds because a lot of my friends out here in the when we were younger, they didn't really have too much exposure to the city as much or
Hmm.
knew too many people. And
Sure.
then, I go out there and it's like, oh yeah, it's a little bit different. There's definitely a lot of hard living people out here.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
country boys getting a little taste of reality. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, and like
it's fun.
yeah. The House of Blues in Chicago is like a legendary venue too. I mean, so many great bands
Totally.
there and
And yeah, I've seen so many shows there, especially when I was 16. And that's the other thing is, even when I couldn't drive, my dad he's a hard rock fan. He would take me to all the shows. He'd take me to go see Korn all the time and
nice.
all the House of Blues shows when like Trapped and Smile Empty Soul and all those rock bands were coming
Yeah.
up and got autographs from Nickelback before they blew up when they first started touring from their first album. And just, yeah, I have so many memories of House of Blues and going to the shows and just getting wasted in the bathroom because I was underage. Like,
Awesome, man.
all the fun stuff.
That's awesome. So bringing it back to YouTube and social media and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
you have almost 4,000 followers on the Brain Tenna page from what I looked at, which is that's huge. I mean, that's
For YouTube?
no on
Okay. Oh,
Facebook.
just social. Oh, yeah, yeah. Social
Facebook,
media.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's almost 4,000 followers on Facebook, which is a lot for a band without any kind of a record deal or touring footprint or anything like that.
Mhm.
Um, do you think your YouTube content as well as your ads, do you think that's what drives the
Definitely.
fans to the Facebook page?
It's definitely the ads. Because yeah, without the ads, I would still probably be at like 1,000. And I would admit, and I think most people would admit, maybe like 5 years ago, everybody was kind of doing the pay to play, get as many likes out there by just faking it instead of having like real fans liking your page. You're paying some bot technology company to give you 5,000 likes for $500, whatever crap. And I've done that before, and you're pretty much just dirtying up your data. That's not clean data. It's all fake. So I'd say yeah, about maybe 500 of those are still probably those crappy likes, but yeah, the majority are authentic people that are just coming through from finding me or definitely the ads. And
Right.
Instagram, I think, is even higher now. Instagram's a little bit
Really?
higher than Facebook, which is it's a little bit over four.
That's
Um, and it's yeah, like those ads without them, I wouldn't really be anywhere. So I would recommend anybody who's a musician who's maybe watching this, look into Facebook and Instagram ads if
Mhm.
you really want to grow your music career. And it goes beyond that because there's strategy and funnels and email campaigns beyond that, but that's essentially the way to get out there without having to sign a record label and having them do all the work and taking all your royalties and all the money first and recouping what they spent on you. If you
Yeah,
really want to do it yourself and do it 100%, you got to act like a record label and do ads like they do. I mean, every label does or should if they really
yeah,
want to be successful and find new people all the time and the right people. That's the thing is you got to find the right people who actually like your music, not
yeah,
sending it to people who only listen to pop or country. You're just wasting money at that point. So, and luckily the algorithms nowadays, you don't even have to set like an interest of what your genre you like to
mhm,
target. The AI already knows. So
yeah,
it'll show your ad to the people that it knows that likes the music and will possibly take you up on the offer of the free CD like my ad is.
right, right. Yeah, I actually um when I got the Traveler CD, then I also bought um the one with the Seven Deadly Sins on it. I can't think of what that one's
Yeah,
called. But
Seven
yeah,
Deadly Sins. That's it.
oh, there you go. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
I bought that one as like the little bonus, and then
Nice.
I just saw an ad recently for the Conquerors. Is that
Conqueror.
yeah?
Yep.
So I
Yep.
bought
The
that
latest
one.
one.
got that one too.
Awesome. And thank you so much for supporting. Like
Oh,
that's
of course, man.
as you probably seen, I thank everybody just so much because I've been there without having this and now seeing people who actually care about the music and
Yeah,
I enjoy this song, enjoy that. Like that just that's the best thing anybody could ever hear. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
really appreciate you supporting it.
Oh, you're welcome, man. And honestly, as an older guy, I actually do have a stereo and like 5,000 CDs. So I
That's
actually
awesome.
do like, blast the stuff for the neighbors. I don't
Hell
just buy
yeah.
it as an artifact.
Right.
So,
You gotta force them to listen too. That's
hey,
awesome.
um, but one thing that I noticed about, well, actually, let's talk about this real quick.
Sure.
Um, so you got the formal education on drums, and then you went to like the kind of the business side of being a musical artist.
Mhm.
um did that kind of inform how you put the Brain Tenna project together? Because first of all, it's unusual for a drummer to
Mhm.
put a group together. That's not
Definitely.
usually what happens.
Right.
um and so yeah, and it seems like you're very strategic in what comes out when, and how the specific songs fit together. I mean, it all works in a concept kind of.
Right.
So how did you decide on that formula? Like, where did all that come from?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out because I've been in many bands and you're essentially in a marriage with three or four other people trying to make it work and everybody's got their own ideas. And towards I think it was like 2015, I was in a rock band with some friends and we got burned out of playing the same shows, all around Chicago and I had some ideas that maybe they didn't agree with, and even they had some ideas I didn't agree with, and we're all like, let's just split our own ways. And at that point, I'm like, I'm just going to do my own thing, knowing this is the approach I want to take it,
Yeah,
and realized I started doing some digging, and some other well-known musicians had done the same thing. Like, actually, it was like the singer from that band Filter.
sure. Yeah,
I believe he was a session player with somebody.
9 Inch Nails.
And yeah, and I think Trent told him like, why don't you start your own band if you don't kind of agree with what I'm doing type
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah, that's
And
literally
he
what happened.
did. And
Yeah,
he did. And now look where he's at. And he's crushing
yeah,
it. He's, the singer now. I think he was a guitar player at that time.
yep,
And
yep.
even like Phil Collins and like some other Dave Grohl, like, come on. It's
Sure.
like,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
sure.
some of these guys have done it. Obviously, they're very talented, but doesn't
Yeah.
mean that I can't do something on a smaller scale.
Right, right.
And as the drummer, I'm like, I've always been able to kind of write ideas, and even in the other bands, I've written lyrics before on some of the songs, or even just like riffs, me just mess around on the keyboard and programming stuff. So I
Right.
had a taste of writing music, and luckily as the drummer, you kind of have a different point of view of how to write a
Mhm.
song because you're not really thinking about notes. It's more of or melodies. It's more of just rhythm.
Yeah.
And so I get the rhythm down for sure. And then what really had helped was me finding a producer to really hone in my ideas. And
Yeah.
without my producer, Taylor, he's a good friend as well. So luckily
Yeah.
he became, producer slash now really good friend. And he really just gets everything dialed into like, I think this is what you're trying to do. And he adds in all the cool sounds and atmospheric things that it would take
Nice.
me months to find, and if I could even put it together the way he does. So I'm so grateful to find him. And yeah, I just get these ideas, send it to him, and he makes everything sound so much better. And
Awesome.
as a musician, you kind of want to play everything. Oh, I can do this. I took the time to learn drums. I could do the same thing for guitar. And
Right.
like, you know what? I don't have that kind of time anymore, man. Like I got a family now. I don't have hours to put my
Yeah.
10,000 hours into a new instrument like guitar. Like it's just nuts.
Yeah.
So I was able to, luckily, one of my really good friends is Jay, who's played every Brentana uh, track on guitar.
Awesome.
Luckily, he's one of the best around the area. And
Yeah.
he's always down to play guitar for Brentana. So I was able to recruit him in there. And then everybody else has been a session player. As you can see, we got a few different vocalists.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's usually because, the first two were just friends helping out and they had their own projects and couldn't really commit, but they did what they could.
Yeah.
Like Mario and John Babin off Seven Deadly Sins.
Mhm.
And then Sunshine. who is actually my producer's really good friend. That's
Yeah.
he's sang on Wrath and Envy and pretty much everything on Travelers, and then Alive and Karma of Conqueror. So he's been around the most on these songs, but he's got that gritty, hard rock sound that I was looking for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I was
then
gonna ask, and you pretty much answered it, like how you chose the musicians for each project. Um
yeah,
uh,
yeah. So,
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then the final guy off Conqueror, who's saying on Initiate Change, Governed, and Little One. I recruited him because he had more of a screaming that I've been
Mhm.
looking for a while.
Yeah.
I'm a big metalhead, but I'm also like really into the heavy stuff too.
Yeah.
And a lot of those songs I felt needed a lot more energy and aggression in them, just because the way I wanted to come out. So I was able to find him online, and luckily he did the job very well. So we'll see if we can continue with him. But even with like Travelers Part Two, I'll go back to Sunshine and get him back on those as well because he's the voice of Travelers. So let's get him back on Part Two.
Yeah, and there's more planets to discover, so
Exactly. So it's never ending. It's
yeah,
not just the 8 or 9 planets. There's a lot more out in the universe. So
yeah, for
it's
sure.
it's exciting.
Yeah. So yeah, one thing that I've noticed about uh sometimes on like from track to track, but definitely from album to album or EP to EP, however you want to look at it. There are certain stylistic changes. Like some of the stuff is really heavy, like almost death metal heavy, and
Mhm.
then there's some stuff that sounds sort of industrial. There's other stuff that almost has like an AOR, like 80s hard rock
Cool.
feel
Yeah,
to it.
totally.
Um, so what would you, if you were to describe the sound of Brain Tenna, how would you describe it? Like, and where do all those different elements come in? Like,
Yeah, somebody else who kind of did a little interview on YouTube for, I think, the song Alive. He had the best explanation for the sound, and I definitely agreed. It was more of like a new metal, new age sound kind of vibe there. And honestly, with like Seven Deadly Sins, there is a mix of genres on that CD. Is like Lust and Pride are more kind of pop rock, with Sloth and Gluttony are more grunge rock kind of, and then Wrath and all that's getting a little bit more hard rock. And honestly, I use that CD as more of a proof of concept of what style people like the most off the CD, and Wrath was the one, which has almost 11,000 views now on YouTube. And
okay.
that was kind of me just kind of testing the waters of where should I go with Brain Tenna with the sound now? Because my first, I don't know if you knew, but I actually have one CD that is out from like 2015,
Yeah,
self-titled, which is
yeah,
just instrumental rock. And
right.
at that time, that started because I was getting into just meditation and kind of just finding myself spiritually and all that. And
Yeah,
I had crystal singing bowls that tuned your chakras and like all these cool little things I was intertwining in there. And I realized that's not really sustainable because it's not really my true self. Going
yeah,
back to my roots as a metalhead is where I should probably go back to.
right.
And so, creating some of those other heavier songs got me to like, all right, where am I going to go from here? And Wrath was that deciding factor of let's go heavy instead
Nice.
of going pop rock because it's just not me. I mean, I like the music, but I'm a metalhead through and through.
Yeah,
So
sure.
keep going that route. So yeah, that CD definitely kind of paved the path of where to go.
Really, man. So, with so many different uh vocalists at the very least, like three other vocalists and different
Mhm.
elements and stuff, if you were to make this a uh live project,
Yeah.
how would you go about that? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would definitely have to find somebody who can sing and scream
Yeah,
since the newer songs have that. And I'm actually I've always wanted to at least be able to generally play every instrument. Like I can play guitar basic,
yeah.
very basic, bass as well. I mean, I played bass on the Alive music video, I think it was.
Okay.
So I can play bass. But for vocals, I've always wanted to get into singing and at
Mhm.
least for backup. So that is my next goal is to be able to at least do like this, if not, if a singer can't always like scream, I would like to be able to do that. Or
Sure.
if the singer is more of a screamer, I would like to be able to sing while
Yeah.
drumming and just kind of be that background, the backup if needed.
Yeah.
So yeah, to build a band, that is my next step since the fan base is growing. Nothing's in line yet, but it's finding those right people. But yeah, it would be nice to find someone who can do both singing and screaming,
Right.
and I could maybe help out just on the back end. But yeah, we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. I mean, there's always, uh, there's lots of bands now who have a harsh and a clean vocalist. That's kind of a
Right.
thing. I mean, there's Hawthorne Heights, comes to mind, but like
Totally.
there's that's definitely a thing now. I mean, there's some people who can do both, but
Right.
if
Yeah,
if you,
it's either the usually the vocalist is either screaming or singing, and the guitar player or somebody's doing the backups, whatever.
right, right,
And I've always thought everyone's like, well, why don't you just have Sunshine come out with you and play shows, or the singer and screamer, and those Sunshine is actually a professional musician where he gets paid
right.
to play on Broadway in Nashville,
Oh, wow.
and all that. So I would have to pay him what he is worth, which he totally deserves, which
Yeah,
is, a couple $100 a day. And
right.
I can't really afford that on a small local show yet.
Yeah,
Having him come up from Nashville, I got to pay for his transportation, which I should, and all
yeah,
these things. So it's really not cost effective yet to get these guys who I had in the studio to start playing small shows with me. The other
right.
guy, Chris, who sang on the more recent stuff, is out of Idaho. So it's like
Okay.
I got to fly him out if he
Yeah,
even would want to do it because he's busy with his own project and his kind of family he's building. So it's
yeah,
like there's all these variables to like, oh, it's not just about just playing a show. It's
yeah,
we're all older men now. We're in our 30s, we got families. We got to really schedule this out. So I think I might just have to wait a little bit longer until this builds to where everyone's like, we need you to play. And it's like, all right,
yeah,
guys, we got like a dedicated fan base that's actually going to show up. Like, let's start putting something together.
yeah. And I mean, one of the good things about the music scene now, the music industry, I suppose now, is that you can build a community online
Yeah,
that will continue to grow and continue to follow you
right.
even without live shows.
Exactly.
It's a different thing than than when I was a kid or
Yeah, or even when I was doing it in 19, like we had MySpace, but nobody utilized MySpace to how we're utilizing Facebook and Instagram now. I mean,
sure.
even at around that time, you still had promotional tools with MySpace that I even dabbled with, where you can like auto comment on people's messages of, oh, I like this band or I like this song that you have on your MySpace channel. And I had all these ways of trying to get people to build, a following even on MySpace, but it never panned out.
Yeah.
But yeah, now is the time. It's easier than ever to essentially do it on your own and just go with the growth. And for me now with the live streaming I do on YouTube, it literally feels like I'm playing a show every Tuesday, but in my basement. And
Yeah.
I'm playing an hour and a half to everybody requesting all these random songs, whether it's a Brain Tennis song or a random cover, and I'm
Right.
exhausted. I luckily I get to go upstairs and just eat dinner and be with my family again instead of getting off the stage in some random small town and
Yeah, you're just
missing
in the
my
hotel
family.
room. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm getting the best of both worlds right now, and it's great. So it's now's the time to start utilizing this technology and build the fan base, and I get the same 10 to 15 to 20 people every Tuesday now. I wasn't able to stream last Tuesday, and they're like, man, we missed that Tuesday. Like it's not the same without the Brain 10 live stream every Tuesday. And I'm on number
Awesome.
62 now. So I've been doing it for like a year and a half, and it's at least those dedicated people that follow are, they're in it with me, and
Yeah.
they miss it when I miss it, and they love it when I love it. So it's great.
Yeah, that's very cool. Man, you keep on like you're segueing all by yourself. Like every
Oh,
time,
sorry.
like it's awesome. But yeah, I definitely don't need to pull questions out of you. But what it's funny, just as a little aside, do you remember MySpace
Oh,
started their own
absolutely.
record label?
MySpace, me and a girl I dated at the time started our own promotional company
Yeah.
called Nuts and Bolts Promotions, and
Oh, cool.
we actually worked with or a band called Yuka out of this is so crazy out of
Yeah.
Canada, and
Okay.
the drummer from that band him and another guy started Drumeo. He had actually started that Drumeo. Not it's not the main guy, Jared.
Okay.
He was actually like the videographer. I forgot his name, David, I think it was. So it
Okay.
was just crazy that we promoted this Yucca band from 2009 or 10
Yeah.
and just did the whole trying to build their following on their MySpace account and trying to draw people to their account. And we did it for like a few months and
Right.
we were
Right.
able to generate some things, but they were like, yeah, we don't know if our growth is because we're playing shows or if it's because you're sending people to our profile. So
Right.
that
Right.
was kind
Right.
of a test on, how to do music promotion back then. So
I don't know,
that
man.
was, yeah, but I definitely remember the MySpace days. And that's what actually how me and my wife at the time now met was on
Oh,
MySpace
awesome.
back then. So
Very
because
cool.
at Casticide, her brother's band would play a lot of shows with Casticide. So
Okay.
she would end up going to their shows and she'd be, who's the new drummer? And I'm, the young guy in the band. And she was only yeah, a year or two younger than me. And she's
Okay.
like, oh, wow, the new drummer. And we started talking on MySpace and then obviously met at our first show. And then, dated for a while, split up, went to college, we did our own thing. And now we're back together, from 10 years ago till now, married with a child. And we
Awesome.
always reflect like MySpace is where we met. So it's MySpace is
That's
close to
such
my
a
heart.
that's such a modern story, man. Met on
Yeah,
MySpace.
right.
Um,
MySpace.
yeah.
It's
I
awesome.
wonder if, 15 years from now, there's going to be people who met on Facebook with kids and stuff.
Totally.
Um,
Yeah. It's gonna
yeah,
be the same thing, right?
yeah, for sure. But uh, but yeah, I wanted to talk about the live streams because you do those every week. Um,
Yeah.
what are do you go in with a theme or do you just go in and start drumming? Like Tuesdays uh aren't schedule wise great for me, so I haven't been able to check one out, but
Sure.
I want to.
Yeah.
I
Right.
get the alerts every time, and I'm just like,
Right.
but
Yeah, actually this Tuesday, a few days ago, was kind of the first time we did a theme, which was grunge music. And
okay,
it actually worked out. I sent out an email because the week prior, I wasn't able to do the stream, and I said, "Hey, give yourself some time to prep for the theme next stream. And do you want it grunge or new metal?" And didn't hear back from anybody. And Tim, who actually moderates the live stream with me, he's like, "Hey, why don't we just do grunge tonight?" And we'll see if people request it. If not, they can still request their other songs they want. And
yeah,
yeah, it was essentially a 90s grunge night with some 90s songs that weren't grunge, and it was a blast. I mean, I was playing Collective Soul and Pearl Jam and Green Day from back in the day, and even a Stained song. But then
awesome,
there was still some just regular songs that weren't 90s, and it was having that mix it was a lot of fun. But
nice, nice,
yeah, it essentially started off. I was just playing Brain Tennis songs, the first I don't even know how many live streams, and I'm like, maybe I should get into the covers because it gives other people to, oh, he's gonna play the song I like, outside of Brain
yeah, yeah,
Tennis, and honestly, it forced me to learn songs on the fly
right,
because I had always played cover songs, especially doing the YouTube channel of my own as the drummer. I've had I don't even know 15, 20 different songs on there that I'd cover from Kill Switch to Godsmack and a variety of others. So I'd
hmm,
always kind of pick up on how to learn the drum beat really quick on a song. So
yeah,
luckily with that skill from years prior, I was able to use that on these live streams where hey, you got this song coming up in a minute or two, and I'd have to listen to the song really quick, just breeze through it. Here's the verse, chorus, bridge, and at least I know where the snare hits are.
yeah,
And
yeah,
if you get that down, then you know kind of what to do in the song. So it's really one of those kind of drumeo situations where you got to learn a song you never heard before on the fly. And it just makes it exciting. I don't get it down every time, but people understand, I'm learning a song as I'm drumming it type thing. So
yeah,
it's challenging, but it's exciting too. And I luckily I learned like don't take it too serious. It's a live
yeah,
stream. Laugh at it and make it fun so people aren't like, hey, he's kind of too serious. Like we're just having fun here. And
right,
it's just a song. So it's like it's like don't freak yourself out. But
yeah,
it was a good way to put myself on the spot and just kind of just work through the stress in a way, in a fun way.
yeah. That is wild, man. So like, I could come on there and ask you to play like "Tonight It's You" by Cheap Trick, and you would
Yeah.
learn it and
Totally. And yeah, that's the thing. Tell people, you can't send me a Meshuggah song. I'm not going
Yeah,
to do that. I'm not going to learn,
right.
an As LA
Or
or is Animals as Leaders song. Like
yeah, oh
the
God.
the technical stuff, I'm not even going to take the time to sit down and learn that because
Right.
I'd be wasting my time. There's so many other things I got to be doing. But yeah, there's a limit to it, and everybody understands it. I think the
Yeah.
joke now is like, "Oh, play Bleed from Meshuggah." It's like, all right, we get it. Like, it's kind of like our Freebird kind of theme.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, anything else, anything rock, metal, even I tell people, send me some 70s funk. I love funk music. Send
Oh, nice.
me even
Sure.
techno stuff. I'll drum to some techno and some people have, and they've given me some variety of music that it's like, oh, that's awesome because it's not the same rock, metal, hard rock songs. So the
Nice.
variety
Nice.
is what I love. But I can't do jazz. It's
Mm,
too technical. So,
sure.
I've got some limits definitely.
Right on. That is wild, man. Like that you mentioned animals. Uh is it Animals as Leaders? That's the name
Yeah,
of that band, right?
yeah, yeah.
Holy crap. I listened to some of their stuff. I got it recommended to me because I was looking for like guitar gods, and there was like this guy is
Oh,
like a modern
Tosin.
guitar
Oh my,
genius,
yeah,
so I'm listening to it and
absolutely.
I'm just like, holy crap, dude.
Yeah. And I got so lucky because yeah, I never heard them before. And when I was out at Musicians Institute around 2013, they actually played at my school as like
Oh
a,
wow.
a, a featured upcoming artist, and because of the technicality of it for sure.
Yeah, it's just
And
insane.
that's when their first CD came out. And I was like, I've never heard these guys. And I checked them out. And that CD got me through that time in my life, being there, being away from the girlfriend I had at the time and being away from
Yeah,
friends. It was only a few months, but you essentially drop everything from work and all that stuff to go do music 8 hours a day
yeah,
and just walk into school every day and listen to that album. It's just the technicality and the musicianship. It's like it was just so influencing that you got to keep going because I might not get to
yeah,
that level, but if you can get close enough, I'll be better than who I was even a few months ago. So yeah, their music has always influenced me, and the drummer now is just he's so good. Like
yeah,
it's just fun to
yeah.
watch.
I feel like they are a band that, the general public is probably never gonna, they're not gonna. I don't know who's popular right now, like Taylor Swift, I guess. They
Right,
won't
yeah.
unseat Taylor Swift. But like
Exactly.
musicians or people who really like
Yeah.
appreciate music and the way it's put together,
Oh yeah.
holy crap, man. Yeah, it's
Yeah, and kind of tying in with that, another big influence of mine of with kind of brain 10 of kind of
mhm.
having different genres is a gentleman named Devin Townsend. I don't
Okay.
know if you
Oh
know
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah. Strapping young
He's
lad.
Yeah, exactly. He's a
Yeah,
phenomenal musician, amazing singer and guitar player, and just
yeah,
songwriter. And he was another one of those people that influenced me of kind of doing this because he always had strapping young lad, insane metal music. But then his own stuff, he'll have a country
right.
album. He's got such a variety of genres. That's why I'm like, yeah, why do I need to stay in one genre really? When if you're capable and do it right, you can kind of do them all. And
Yeah, absolutely.
so I probably won't be doing a country album, but doing more like the song Greed off Seven Deadly Sins, where it's more kind of techno with metal guitar in there.
Yeah, yeah,
I might want to do some more of those songs if I feel like it, or go back to maybe doing some more like Sloth and Gluttony, kind of grunge. But for now, it's the metal. But now I have some other stuff to kind of lean back on, and I've already done Greed with kind of techno metal. Let's
yeah,
maybe do 5 songs like that and just kind of branch off of different genres I've already done.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
keeping it open.
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, there was bands like I'm in my 50s, so there was Faith No More,
Oh yeah,
24/7 Spies, Extreme, like those three bands especially didn't they would just put out whatever the hell they wanted.
right,
Like
right.
whatever kind of music you like, especially 24/7 Spies, they don't get a lot of love, but like,
Yeah, I don't think I recall them. I'll have
oh,
to
well, they
check
were
them
like a
out.
a New York metal band, if you will,
Okay,
all black guys. But
okay, cool.
but dude, it was like metal, funk,
No,
uh,
nice.
reggae, jazz,
That's awesome. That's
thrash. I mean, it
wow.
was like
Yeah,
all
that
on one
sounds
album,
fun.
dude.
Wow.
Pop. I mean, they have a song called "Don't Break My Heart" that could literally be a Britney Spears song if she played rock music. Like
Wow.
it's just like yeah,
That's yeah, that's true musicianship for sure. And that's yeah, and I hate being stuck in that bubble because I forgot to even mention I was in a hardcore metal band
Mhm.
after Cast Aside.
Sure,
And I was 25. This was one right before I went to Musicians Institute. But that mindset and those guys were a little bit younger and all we are is hardcore metal. We're
yeah,
we're straight edge. We're this. We're stuck in a little bubble that we've created in our little local scene and kind of the hardcore metal scene in general. And
right,
it's like I never really liked that. I mean, I've always been able to play different genres on drums and just doing the same breakdown drum beat on every song. I'm like, yeah, it gets a little boring after a while. Like, can we expand our musical abilities? And that's why that really didn't work out too well either. So it's yeah, I don't like to do the same thing over and over again. I get kind of restless and like,
yeah,
let's maybe it's the ADD or something, but it's like
yeah,
let's do something new here. I'm getting bored.
yeah, yeah. One thing I will say as a fan though, going to like a hardcore show like Earth Crisis or Sick of It All is
Oh yeah,
it's intense, man. It is
yeah.
intense.
The
Yeah,
energy, I love those shows because yeah, you're right. The energy, and I love those energetic shows. So I'll always, and I still love hardcore music.
yeah,
But yeah, it's the energy. You just can't beat them.
yeah,
And
for sure.
I get bored at shows where you're just kind of standing around, and it's like, yeah, it's let's maybe push somebody
Yeah.
in a good way and mosh
Engage,
pit. But then
engage.
someone's mom is like, don't do that. It's like, oh God, here comes Karen. So
Oh
it's
man, right on, man. Um, so so yeah, man. I mean, I think I think we've kind of covered a lot of ground here. Um, and I guess we want to talk about the future, right? I mean,
yeah,
what are we looking
totally.
at for Brain Tenna?
Yeah, the future is I've got some song ideas now, kind of hashing out. Um gonna get with my producer soon to work on those. Like I said, I want to start doing some maybe backup vocals and I'm starting to maybe get into some vocal training, which I've done in the past. I've dabbled in it. And want to see if I can actually do something on these new songs, not as the lead vocalist, but something in the background.
Yeah,
And while that's going on, just um, pretty much getting these orders out for these CDs, which are still coming in, and just trying to improve the live stream as much as I can. And I'm always thinking, I haven't really posted too much content because the ads are doing a lot of the work, but I want to start dialing in some content stuff. Nothing too crazy, because I'm pretty limited on my time because I do have a career and, I got to travel sometimes for work and still got the family. So I don't have as much time as I used to, but, try to find the time I can to do the things that actually matter.
right.
So it's definitely new music. It's definitely live streaming and just being able to talk to everybody who's coming into the Brain Tenant community right now. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. And hopefully, like I said, we can maybe play a show. I would love to play a show, at least one show this year, if I find local musicians that can sing and kind of do what I'm looking for. But if
Yeah, yeah,
not, to me, it's not a big deal. It's kind of a bonus if I can get it done. But if not, I got so much other stuff going on that, that could wait.
yeah.
But
Right on.
that's the goal for 2026. And I would like to be able to get at least like a 5 song EP out each year, which is mainly just because of some of its timing and most of its money. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's not cheap to do all this on your own. When you're in a band with 3 or 4 other people and they're all chipping in, you're not putting 100% in. It's, whatever, 25%. So it's just most of the time is I'm just saving up money to afford this on my own. But I'd rather have it this way because I can do things my way and I feel like it's done the best way possible in my view. And
yeah,
everybody deserves to get paid. I pay all the session players. I don't want to, hey, just do it for free. Like you're taking time out of your day to learn the songs. I want to pay you. So here's the contract we agree upon with that pricing and let's just get it done. So I want to do as professional as possible.
Yeah, right on, man. Right on. So, are you going to continue to put out physical CDs? Is that
Yeah,
still the brand?
and even with that, here's the thing. Like, I don't know if a lot of people are seeing this, but streaming is not that good for
Yeah,
musicians.
yeah. We've
Monetarily,
talked about
we
that.
you get like you have to wait like 3 months for your distribution to pay you what you've got from streaming from Spotify and all that crap.
Yeah,
From somebody buying a CD, I literally get paid right then and there. And
yeah,
that's what helps me fund more recordings and more things. Like I'm not just putting that in my pocket. That's literally just going back into Brain to get more CDs or to hopefully save up for recording. So I might actually start taking stuff off of streaming because I'm
Mhm.
literally just giving things out for free, which is fine,
Yeah.
but maybe just keep it on YouTube and then just keep it on my website. And if
Right on.
you're really a diehard fan, you really care about what's going on and really want to support and kind of help grow this with me, then start buying some physical stuff or buy a digital download and save it on your phone and not go to Spotify and just give me literally 0.003 cents, which gets cut from the distribution
Yeah.
anyways. So like I'm each year I get like $5 from Spotify. And I'm not going to spend my ad money to have people go to Spotify to earn that much money when I can just have them go to my website and buy a CD for 5, $10, whatever.
For sure. Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
I'm really thinking about just pulling everything off of streaming besides YouTube and just get those diehard fans to get the physical copies
Right on,
and
man. I mean,
get on the email list. That's really it. It's really just going old school. I'd rather go back to the 90s days where people are buying physicals and you're building that way because that's what I grew up as. And, people think everything's for free now and it's not. It's
yeah,
cost a lot of money to record.
yeah. And I mean, with Spotify's new model, where you have to hit 1,000 plays like consistently to even get money.
Right. It's
I
just like
mean,
what, and
dude,
they're also using their AIs to train off of my music to then
right,
generate their own music. So I'm literally giving them my songs to write similar songs and then try to earn money off of. And it's
yeah,
like, why would I agree to this AI? And I don't like Suno, all those AI generated music things, because they literally
right,
trained from everyone else's music that's been online for years, which is
right,
kind of funny because someone in one of those ads said, "Your music sounds AI. What are you going to do about that?" And I'm like, dude, literally what you're saying is the AI probably trained off of my music because my
right,
music's been out there for 10 years plus, and these
right.
AI websites probably trained off of mine. So like that's pretty much an insult to me, which
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't say it in a mean way to them, but it's like, here's the reality. And he's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And it's like, yeah, you got to see the whole picture before you just start spewing, facts
right,
here, which aren't
right.
fact. So yeah, and that's the thing with, new technology. I love technology, but yeah, some of these
Mhm.
things, the convenience of it isn't worth it.
Yeah,
And it's, yeah, who owns the copyright if an AI is writing it? It's usually the company. It's not the AI because it's just code, but the
yeah,
company who wrote the code usually will own that copyright. And if you use that, you can get copyright strikes or whatever. And
right, right.
there's all those AI bands coming out now. And I mean, how many AI songs are on Spotify now? Probably
Yeah,
a majority of the songs are now going to
yeah.
be AI. So it's, let's just bring it back to the 90s, keep things simple and you know, use technology as needed. So
I
which
agree.
when it's best of both worlds.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, man, I don't think your music sounds AI. There's a human
Yeah.
element to it, that you can't duplicate.
Right.
Uh, I wouldn't have bought the CDs from you if I thought it sounded like a computer was singing them. So,
Yeah. And I
yeah,
would feel like I'm scamming people if that was the case. Like, and that's why things take so long for me to release music because I'm paying real musicians to learn the songs, play and sing and all that. So I'm not just typing in lyrics in an AI thing and it's robotically spewing some vocals for me.
yeah, yeah. I have a friend who's been. I don't know if you know what Acid Planet is.
No, I don't think
In the
so.
early 2000s, it's kind of like Pro Tools. Collective
Okay.
Soul actually used it on one of their albums, which is
Oh,
wild. But
nice.
uh, but a buddy of mine was using it to make rap music,
Oh, cool.
and now he makes AI albums. Like I, he just to him it's just another extension of what he was doing.
Sure.
But he would send me these songs, and like he sent me this blues song, and I was like, dude, that singer's amazing. He sounds just like Aloe Black. And it turned out he used Aloe Black's voice from AI, like
Right.
because you can
That's
do
good.
that now.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
like
It's
the
crazy.
singers license their voices to AI
Okay.
so that people can use their voice, and then they get paid whatever they get paid for someone using their voice.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I mean, you're making a song that sounds like an Aloe Black song, and it's a computer generated version of his voice that he approved, which is fine.
Right.
But you're not Aloe Black. You know,
Right.
it's like
Yeah, exactly.
it makes my brain want to explode.
Yeah,
Um,
and half the time I'm always like, a lot of the major record labels own these AI websites
right,
or
sure,
even like Spotify. So
right,
they're in bed with the new technology while they're probably making their artists agree to these AI things so they
right,
can use them to train the AI that they own to build, and they're just using their artists. They don't
yeah,
care about them. They'll shelf them if they need to and
yeah,
not promote them. So it's the whole industry really needs to be overturned.
yeah,
And that's where a lot of the indie artists who are coming up kind of doing the same thing I am is at least we're trying to fight the industry because I'll never sign a 360 deal that
yeah,
these major labels have. I already know what's involved in all that. And it's like you're literally signing your life away and they own everything and you
yeah,
control nothing. And I no, that shouldn't happen. Those contracts should be illegal, but it is what it is. I mean, the industry literally was brought up through the mafia back in the day, and
right,
they paid their artists with cars and drugs and took all the royalties and all their money. I mean, look
yeah,
at the 60s and 70s. So
yeah,
yeah, it's one of those things where it's, you learn that history, you realize you don't want to be involved with it, and you try to build something alternative on the other side of it, and maybe you can
yeah,
work with them down the road.
yeah. And I mean, even like I had Ronnie Barnett on my show from the
Okay.
Muffs,
Okay.
and I mean, he's happy with Spotify because Kids in America gets millions of streams.
Right. Yeah,
And he's
that's the
like,
thing.
I get a check every month. He's like, I never got a check every month when I was on a record label.
Right.
Uh, so there is that side of it. But then
That's true.
when when Fat Mike sold Fat Records,
Hmm.
he put $2 million out of that deal into paying the new owners so that they no longer owned the back catalog, like what people owed, basically.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, so like the Muffs, any other stuff that was on Fat Records is now free and clear, and
Wow.
anything they make off that now from physical sales or whatever they get.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, I mean, Fat Mike is. This is just something that kind of crossed my mind because of what we were talking
Yeah.
about. But Fat Mike is freaking right on.
Right.
That guy,
Yeah. That's yeah, trying to make things right. And that's
yeah,
yeah, that's how it should be. And I recently did the same thing with my producers. I just when a producer he's like, I'm not making any money off the Spotify because he's got partial royalties on publishing for like if things get streamed on Spotify, he'd get a chunk or whatever. He's like, I'm not making anything off of that. I'm like, I would rather pay you more money up front to where you'll get that money, you can utilize it wherever you want, rather than pay you not as much and you try to recoup something from Spotify, which you won't.
yeah, never.
And so I pretty much bought him out of his royalties, which was more than enough he would have ever made from Spotify.
Right on.
And I'm just gonna pay him more upfront on every song from now on because he deserves it and Spotify is nothing and I want to get things off of there. And maybe the more I just do physical, the more I'll make and the more I can pay him and the other session players. And it's the more money coming in real time, not
Yeah,
3 months down the road, and actual, $5, $10, not cents on the dollar or pennies on the dollar, literally, then
right.
it's just funding the ecosystem even better. So I mean,
Yeah,
I get, yeah, if you're streaming millions of views or millions of streams,
yeah,
it's good, but I'm not there. I'm not even close to that. So it's like I got to focus on me right now, and
right.
yeah, it's just different situations for everybody for sure.
Yeah, yeah. One thing that I always remember, and this is going back, obviously, as a kid, the song "To Be With You" by Mr. Big, number one song in the country, selling,
Hmm.
millions of copies. At the time that that record hit number one, they were on tour, broke,
Wow.
paying the record label because they had to pay for their own tour.
Wow.
So like anything that that song was making was going to the record label to pay for the tour that they were on. They had the number one record in the world, like eating tuna fish out of a can.
Yeah,
Um,
I heard the same thing with Collective Soul as well.
sure.
I took a music business class from a gentleman who helped with them in that time when they were kind of blowing up, and he's like, yeah, they made no money off
Yeah.
of their explosion and with their songs because it all went back to the label.
Yep.
And I get, if the label's forking out a couple $100,000 to write a great album for you, they're putting the money in. They should be recouped for
Yeah.
sure. But I
Yeah.
mean, at what point? There's a lot of it was, well, until you pay off the record being made, the tour that we put you on, the merch and all that, they lump
Yeah.
it all into there, and you're never gonna be able to pay them back, or if you do, it's very seldom. Like you're a massive artist that can actually do that.
Right. And I mean, with Collective Soul, it's even crazier because that first record was Dean Rollins' songwriter demo.
Oh,
Like he
okay.
was shopping that to labels to or is it Ed? Whichever one of them was the singer, Ed or Dean. I always mix them up. But
Yeah.
it was his songwriter demo. He was shopping that to labels to try to get a job as a songwriter.
Oh,
And
okay.
the label was like, hey, this is an album. And he's always said that he considers the self-titled album to be the first album
Okay.
because the album with Shined and all that on it was never supposed to be released.
Right.
It's
Yeah, I think I saw some of the talking points he did with Rick Rick Beto
yeah, sure.
about
Yeah.
like how he recorded it, with
Yeah.
the I think it was like the toilet paper roll,
Right, right,
that
right. It's
the
crazy.
hey, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just demoing stuff, but it
Yeah.
turned out phenomenal. So it's
Right,
like
sure.
those
Yeah.
cool stories that's just so fun to hear,
Yeah.
the
See.
history of him making it.
Yeah. But I mean, if he had to pay back anything on that record, it'd just
Yeah.
be weird because it wasn't even his intention.
Yeah,
And
right.
they're just like, we're gonna take this, now you owe us money.
Yeah, it's like I did it on my own. What the hell?
Yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
yeah, most people don't even know this stuff about what's going on behind the scenes. They just think this artist must be rich and they're
Yeah,
famous, they're everywhere. Well,
yeah,
that all costs money for you to see this artist explode. So
yep,
nothing's free. Publishing is not free. Getting yourself out. The only thing is if you ever go viral, that could be a free moment, but you got
right.
to be able to hone that in
Maintain.
and
Yeah,
yeah, maintain the virality, or you're just going to be a one-hit wonder like everyone else.
yeah.
So
I
it's
rem I heard a interview with the guy from Semisonic, Dan Wilson, not that long ago.
okay,
He was talking about basically closing time was not organic. Like they used payola to get that record on the
okay,
radio and he was talking about how he was still paying the label back just for that, just for the
wow,
push that they gave closing time because
wow,
they used a lot of money to get that song on the right stations and in front of the right people.
that makes sense.
Man.
Yeah, and yeah, that one friend I have who worked like in the 90s helping bands get big and all that, he said that yeah, he'd always have a hard time with the radio stations and the labels kind of guiding them. No, that's not the hit song here. This is the hit
Yeah,
song.
yeah,
Use your money wisely on this one and that's what had made some artists fail is because they chose the wrong song as the hit
sure.
when they could have used something else. And it's like it's such a gamble.
Yep,
I mean, these labels have all the connections. You got to go to the radio at that time. There's no other way of doing it on your own.
yep,
Luckily nowadays there's no gatekeepers. I mean, there still is, but you got social media to do it on your own. If you want to play a festival, you still gotta go to the gatekeepers. But everything else is like, yeah, it's it's kind of eerie to put all your faith in these labels. You assume they know what they're doing, but not all the time.
maybe they don't. Yeah, yeah,
And
for
to them,
sure.
you're just another label. You're another artist.
Right.
We'll get rid of you and we'll find someone similar to your sound and push them next. And
Yeah.
it's probably a tax write-off to them too. Is oh, we
Oh
spend
sure.
$1 million. It's a tax write-off. We're a label. That's what we do is we write albums. If it
Yeah.
works or not, whatever to us. Well, your dreams are crushed and you got to go back to your 9 to 5. Fun
Goalless.
times. All those
Yeah.
stories though, that's what helped me like, all right, maybe signing to a major label is it's not a good
Yeah,
idea. Maybe I should create my own label. So kind of went that route.
right on, man. Um, so yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up, but
Cool.
that was a cool little conversation at the end there. I didn't expect that, and that was fun, man. It's always
Yeah.
cool to dive into that kind of stuff with guests. So
I'm always up to those conversations. My friends know, yeah, once we start talking about that stuff, we just can't stop. So it's
yeah,
if you get me going, as you can see, on the conversations I like to speak about, we'll talk for hours.
right on, man. Right on. Um, dude, if I didn't have to take some medicine and go cook dinner, we could just stick around. But
You're all good. It's all
but
good, man.
man,
I mean, let's just do it again another time.
for
That's all we
sure,
can
yeah,
do.
100%. I appreciate you spending some time with me tonight. Go ahead and let the people know where they can find you, um, where you are on the internet and all that good stuff. The floor is
Yeah.
yours, man.
Yeah, if you go to braintenna.com, that's the store, that's the website, where you can get all the merch, t-shirts, CDs, some bandanas, some shot glasses, digital downloads. That's where you get all the fun stuff. And then, yeah, Braintenna on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I think there's a TikTok, but I'm barely on there. So the main three are Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And then I've got the live stream I do every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Time. And just go to the Braintenna YouTube channel and feel free to hit me up either braintenna@gmail.com or on Facebook or Instagram. I'm always down to talk and talk about whatever. So if anybody's out there just has any questions, hit me up and let's chat.
Right on, man. All right. Well, Kyle, thank you so much. I want to thank everybody who is tuning in. I want to thank everybody who was patiently waiting for us to return while I sorted out our production stuff that's been going on. I
Sure.
want to thank my homie Nate Walden, who came on and stepped in and is producing the show now. Uh, Thanks for getting us back out here for people to check out. Um, we're not going anywhere, man. So we've got some great guests coming up. I haven't booked them yet because we were on hiatus for a little while, but I will. I promise you there will be more stuff coming. Thanks to everybody, man. Thank you for sticking with us for these last couple years, and let's keep on going. I'm Keith, and I promise you I will be back next week with more Most Excellent Entertainment. Okay. Now the new Zoom process.